Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gentleman Psychic. I am the Gentleman Psychic, your host, Richard Lale Lillard. Richard Lale is one name. Richard Lale is not two names. If I were just Richard, I would be a dick. Anyway, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thanks for all of the likes, the comments, the shares. If you have been here for a while, thank you for the likes, the comments, the shares. Thank you for all of you who have supported me in so many ways. I appreciate you. This is just something I like to do because I like to promote literacy and I love classic stories. So this week's story I'm really excited for. It is The Devil's Letters to Mary Maclane, and it was written in 1903. So it's going to be a rousing good time, I'm sure. I know that we're a little bit early, but I like to wait for the clock to go because I think it sounds so lovely to have that clock chime in the background. Now, a little bit while we're here waiting, we still have, oh goodness, 2 minutes left before we actually even start. I wanted to say I am so excited because I started joining the gym again. I went to the gym. I've been going this week, and I've already lost 3 pounds, which is good. So I'm very proud of myself for that. It's an average about a pound a day, which is good. Um, I had been through quite a hard time the last couple of years, and I dealt with some depression, and then I lost my mother, and I lost a lot. I moved 3 times, and it was not a good 3 years. But I decided that I was going to make a change, and I started at the gym. Jessica Pollock says, glad to join you tonight. Looking forward to this. I am so glad to see you. David, nice to get sweet abs. Yes, it is. There is a layer of adipose tissue that I am trying to remove from covering my actual abs that are there. Mary Jane King, good evening. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you. Amy Edwards, good evening. Here comes the clock. Oh, it's very low tonight. Why is it so low? Oh, well, I turned it off. I turned off the alarm. That is quite all right. Well, we didn't really get a good one, but that is okay. Hello from Glasgow. Hello, hello. My condolences. Thank you. Yes, my mother was very special. For those of you who watch me on, which is Movie Coven on Wednesday nights, we covered Big Fish, and that was incredibly touching for me because I watched it right before losing my father, and then now I've lost my mother. And part of what was so touching for me was to see Jessica Lange portray so much love that she had for this father figure. And I knew that in reality, this woman would be devastated. And I witnessed that in real time. Angela Gem, hello. Melissa, hello. I like your hat. Thank you very much. I'm reminded, speaking of hats and mothers, my mother used to read me, I think it was Dr. Seuss book. It's the one thing that I don't have, that I should find it. But my mother used to read me as a child, Go Dogs Go. And it was this whole running joke was these dogs were going to this party in this tree. And so they would be coming from all over. And there's this one couple who, through the course of this book, they would greet each other, and she would say, hello, do you like my hat? And the other dog would say, hello, I do not like your hat. And so at the end, the poodle ends up with this elaborate giant hat. And she says, do you like my hat? Yes, I do like your hat. And then they end up by going to the party. John Maxwell, gracious good evening. Listening to you while catching the hardware store. Very nice. That things needs must. So tonight, we are going to be reading The Devil's Letters to Mary Maclane. This was written, or at least published, in 1903. It was probably a little bit before that. 120 years old, the story, not the book. The book is a reproduction. And unfortunately, I don't have the pretty one that I found online that has the picture of the devil and a similar chapeau, but that is okay because it will read just the same. Oh, I hope, by the way, that you have gathered your that you have gathered your loved ones around, that you have brought in your princesses and your bears and your dolls and your toys. Your haunted dolls would be great. Bring your children, bring your loved ones, bring your cuddle up in the blanket, turn on the fan, turn off the fan, get something to drink, pick your poison. Tonight's poison is brought to you by arsenic. I know it's backwards in the camera, but arsenic. It's so delicious and smooth too. So good on the body. So yeah, pick your poison and prepare for story time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, guys and gals, and non-binary pals, I now present to you story time. The Devil's Letters to Mary Maclane. Thank you, I like you too. Just the same as ghosts usually had rice. I had rice. Okay, my dears. The Devil's Letters to Mary Maclane by himself. 1903. Dedication. To those before whose trembling lips is poised the cup of sin, to those who, with enraptured eyes, behold the fleeting paradise that lurks within. The Devil's Letters to Mary Maclane, Chapter 1. Inferno, Autumn, 1903. Dear little Mary Maclane, I hope you will pardon my delay in replying to a very unusual and unexpected communication. I assure you that it was unavoidable. You must know that there are many and pressing demands upon me at all times. To say that I was astounded at the nature of your message, but meagerly express it. As a rule, nothing ever astonishes me. But such a very extraordinary communication from a woman of 19 years and all alone was a corker for even the devil. Really, Mary, you have overacted your part. Your book has turned out to be a regular Methodist slopover, like Deacon Gruntgrander's prayer for rain. He sent up such a stirring appeal to heaven that the floodgates thereof were opened, the winds blew, and the rains descended, and the floods came, and washed away every remnant of vegetation for miles and miles around, one good sister said. The otter a knowed better'n to set Deacon Gruntgrander a prayin' for rain. He never knows when to stop nothin'. He goes at but keeps right on till he slopes clean over every time. You have something of Deacon Gruntgrander's propensity, but let us hope that you haven't spoilt things entirely. If you had sent the message to me privately, it would have been different, but to calmly, deliberately draw aside the curtains from both your treasure house and your charnel house door, and say to the rabble of the earth, behold, devil as I am amazed. I can see your soul standing before you in utter nakedness, ready for its final crucifixion. I can see it fall on its knees and beg for mercy. I can see it weeping for the strands of gleaming pearls which you have stripped from its white throat and cast madly, ruthlessly before the swine of the earth. The swine are now crunching them between their teeth for acorns. Ha ha ha! I can see it stretch out its white arms to you in entreaty, and I can see you nail them piteously to the cross of ignominy. Truly, Mary, you are a wonder. But there is one pearl, the largest, most beautiful pearl, the most wondrously white of all, which you did not cast with the others. You and your soul have hidden it away somewhere. Did you think to fool me along with everyone else when you claimed to have withheld nothing in your portal? I am surprised, Mary. You are beginning to tremble and turn pale. You know very well which pearl I mean. It is possible that all my millions and millions of emissaries in the form of the man-devil have overlooked you entirely. You of 19 years and all alone. If so, I cannot blame you for sending up such a shriek. Ah, Mary, what should you know about strong steel arms and wonderful burning kisses? What should you know about being consumed with hot love and your soul and the soul of the man-devil meeting in an anguish of joy? I have not been to you personally because I felt sure of you. I give my individual attention to only the pure white-souled ones, who otherwise would escape me. Sometimes they slip through my fingers in spite of all of my endeavors, as did the soul of Marguerite. When I saw that beautiful thing purged to dazzling whiteness, borne heavenward, I felt my throne totter under me. Hell was sent by a convolution that almost laid it in twain. I fell prostrate on my face, smitten with blindness, while heavy thunders rolled over me. The lake parted in the middle, and there arose from my imps such a wailing and gnashing of teeth, and the very ramparts of heaven were shaken. Is there such a possibility for you? Oh, no, Mary. That bitter wound alone which you gave the mother heart has made you mine insolubly. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creatures shall be able to separate you from the dominion of the devil. Oh, that poor mother. I'm minded, devil, as I am, to stop and weep for her, to think that the little hand which is the mysterious forces within her body wrought into being should have lived to grieve her such a thrust. From the depths of my metal heart, I pity her. What is that, the sharper than a serpent's tooth? Isn't it a thankless child? Indeed, you are a genius, Mary, a genius of unkindness. But here I am moralizing. Yours in astonishment, the devil. Chapter 2. My astonishing Mary! Well, what is the devil to expect of you next? I no more than collect my wits to declare myself unto you than you burst forth with another effusion. Of course I am interested in all that concerns you, but to be honest and frank, your friend Annabel Lee is too tame for me, and I am not specially interested in her at the present, but in you, Mary, the Mary of your portal, who are the living embodiment of feminine mystery. The next time you come, Mary, leave your friend Annabel Lee at home. Your impatient devil. Chapter 3. My incomparably egotistical Mary. The night is ended. I am alone. My secret emissaries that come and go at my volation are all on duty bound. That vague, unbroken communication which they establish between me and my votaries has revealed to me, through the medium of your portrayal, the virtues and the follies of yourself. Revealing as I am in the spoils of my conquests, I am nevertheless impressed with the fervor of your communication, but amused, nay, provoked with its absurdity, and when I seek to analyze the meaning of your weird, uncanny purpose to serve me, I almost hesitate to trust you. I am somewhat irritated over the fact that you have laid bare your soul, exposed both its faults and virtues in such an unguarded manner, and I am forced to question it. In the message which you have sent me, the well-timed, well-tuned phrasing of a willing subject, or the mutterings of a diseased brain that knows no distinction twixt God and the devil, was that mountain of selfishness, hatred, idiosyncrasies ever created in the image of God? Was that perversion of all that is attractive even to the devil ever molded by the hand of the Creator? Does the spirit of life burn with steady flame, or does it flicker through the mutilations of dethroned reason? Even the devil scorns to enrage the irresponsible. The wonderful genius with which you, Mary Maclane, imagine yourself to be burdened, the devil fails to recognize. You have written a book. You have given this book to the world, and it is now the property of the world. What is it? And what of you, Mary Maclane? Who produced it? You have strung together a few slang phrases from hell, a little worn-out philosophies from heaven, a miserable compound of earth, and imagine that you have produced the work of a genius. It is studded, I grant you, with literary gems, and the sentences are touched with a finish that is exquisite in the extreme. What you have said cleverly, and even I must admit that you have said some very clever things. I do not deplore the fact that you have prostituted to my cause the talent that was given to you for a higher purpose, but rather rejoice in the careless abandon with which you enter into the spirit of my undertakings. You have robbed me of some of my most characteristic sentiments, and have clothed them in language of exquisite beauty and purity. You have given to a rosary of black diamonds a setting of pearls. The world now will see only the black diamonds, but when the glamour of the criticism with which it is enshrouded shall have passed away, the pearls will be revealed. It is not with pearls that I have to deal, for pearls, even literary pearls, are not of my kingdom. While the name of Mary Maclane is on the lips of everyone, it is only just and natural that the devil, to whom your most earnest pleas are addressed, should communicate to you his sentiments regarding yourself. In speaking of your genius, I do not depreciate the fact that your work is a clever one, but neither the world nor the devil would consider it the product of the mighty genius that you persist in calling yourself. The devil is something of a genius himself, and he protests against having the term so misapplied. Even he feels outraged at the audacity of a morbid, morose, parapactic, world-despising creature who essays to masquerade under the crown of genius. Devil that I am, I would not rise up and declare that none were devilish but myself. I have wit enough to see that there are others who apply the devil's tactics quite as gracefully, and almost as effectively, as he does himself. Many of my pupils have threatened to outstrip their tutor, although the world knows that neither heaven nor earth has ever produced but the one devil. I am proud, but I'm not boastful. I established my claims to my unique sovereignty before I asserted them. You, little Mary Maclane, have boldly said to the world, I am a genius, and your sole justification for the assertion seems to be the fact that you have stated it. Does it take a genius to lay hold of the infinite guile of the devil and to present it to terse, clear, epigmatic language for the edification of those who haven't the ability to evolve it for themselves? The stern manner in which you have stated facts, the rounded periods in which you have exalted your own virtues, the pathos that you have inserted into recital of unrelenting truths, the melody that you have wrung from nature's discords, the tyranny of love that you have painted so glowingly, the climax of happiness that you have drawn so vividly, the work of a genius? The devil looks beyond all this, looks through your work at the hand that wrought it. He deals not with a pen picture of your wooden heart, but with a human heart that is swayed by sentiments in which the devil exalts. He does not analyze nor expatiate upon the pathetic beauty and the mute eloquence with which you melt the hearts of your readers over the conditions of your loveless life, but rather reflects upon the cold, selfish existence that he has made your life a natural consequence. I do not deny the fact that you have talent, neither do I deplore it, but I am amused, nevertheless, at the unsophisticated manner in which you assert your egotism and proclaim your genius. An egotist you are. No one would disclaim your right to call yourself a punny, presuming self-created egotist, but I fancy that you overrate the importance with which even the distinction might accord you. The barnyard cock looks with contempt upon the pin-feathered crowing rooster, and animals of the forest treat with merited disapproval of the insolence of their young, which rise to confront them with the fact that there is no danger abroad, because they themselves have explored the world as far as the brow of the hill. The busts of the sages will not turn their wizened heads to view the advent of new genius. The busy, rushing world will not pause long to contemplate the light of your reigning glory. The sun and moon will not waver in their orbits because of a counter attraction. In the face of your marvelous egotism, the fixed star will remain the center of the universe. The mind that sent forth this rumbling, sporadic effort bears the same relation to genius that the bubbling fountain bears to the roaring cataract. Genius is great. The world recognizes it without a label. It rides its majestic course unchallenged and sweeps through the firmament of existence with the calm security of its position. There is no bickering after fame. That awkward, unimaginable, reflected attachment to the star of greatness, genius, is never seen booted and spurred valiantly astride a charger riding down the world with fame following at the charger's heels and the multitude agape. Genius is its own glory. There is no relapse of genius into the qualms on its own intensity. Genius stands appalled at the audacity with which you assert your claims to genius. You are young, but the world is old, and I am older than either. I have watched the course of genius as it played in iridescent beauty above the horizon, rose in the magnificent splendor of the glorious noon, then sank as the western sun behind a gorgeous setting. The path of genius is not deflected. It runs its course according to the limitations of its fixed orbit and not through the wobbling peregrinations of a satellite. Your brilliant metaphors and your rhetorical cadences have a worthy significance which even the devil does not wholly disregard. But it is the vicious serpent coiled within this flower of perfect English that challenges the devil. The world might forgive your youthful audacity, and had that been your only sin, but when you put up your body and soul for auction, and bid them in for the devil, the world leaves you with the auctioneer, and the devil has only to claim you for his own. So cheaply bought, you may expect to be cheaply prized, and if there be no other use to which you may be applied, I can at least make you a plaything. Yours, deploringly, the Devil. Chapter 4. My precious little Saga, your perpactic philosophy has made you wise beyond your years. In contrast to the simpering idiocy of youth, you are propounding to yourself such serious questions as, what would I do if the earth were made of wood with a paper sky? This is too weighty a problem for the devil, but I would caution you, in a case like that, not to hurl any more such brands as you did in your portrayal, or you might set the whole thing on fire and get to hell before your time. You have said you never were that quaint conceit a girl, standing with reluctant feet where the brook and the river meet. No, you straddled it, Mary. You never knew the incomparable bliss of giggling. You never experienced the ecstatic joy of the wad of chewing gum, nor the unspeakable pleasure of a street corner beau. You never knew the thrill of exchanging girlish confidences, nor tasted the supreme beatitude of a girl's first love letter. Above all, you never felt the transport of an engagement ring on your finger. You looked beyond all this. In your portrayal, you exclaim rapturously, when my happiness is given me, life will be an ineffable and nameless thing. It will seethe and roar, it will plunge and whirl, it will leap and shriek in convulsion, it will quiver in delicate fantasy, it will writhe and twist, it will glitter and flash and shine, it will sing gently, it will shout in exquisite excitement, it will vibrate to the roots like a great oak in a storm. It will dance, it will glide, it will gallop, it will rush, it will swell and surge, it will fly, it will soar high, high, it will go down to the depths unexplored. It will rage and rave, it will yell in utter joy, it will melt. It will blaze, it will ride triumphant, it will grovel in the dust of an entire pleasure. It will sound out like a terrific blare of trumpets. It will chime faintly, faintly, like the remote tinkling notes of a harp. It will sob and grieve and weep. It will revel in carouse and carouse. It will shrink. It will go in pride. It will lie prone like the dead. It will float buoyantly on the air. It will moan, shiver, burst. Oh, it will reek with love and light. Your description is marvelous, but as you say, wholly inadequate. Though I am the prince of liars, I swear to you that when your happiness comes, life will be chaotic, an intangible, a nondescript thing. It will boil and sizzle. It will bound and lunge. It will jump and howl and fall in a fit. It will bubble and spurt geysers of liquefied madness. It will wriggle to the will squirm. It will twinkle and glow and burn. It will whistle rhapsodies through its teeth. It will purr, it will scream, and it will screech, and bellow like a bull. It will buzz softly. It will shake its marrow bones. It will hop. It will skip. It will lope. It will shout. It will warble. It will spread its wings. It will hump itself up, up. It will rip and rave. It will snort and foam at the mouth. It will rear. It will charge. It will buck like a bronco. It will wallow in the sloughs of delight. It will twinkle shyly, shyly like the echo of a brass cowbell. It will wail, it will wring its hands, it will tear its hair, it will grit its teeth. It will squeal like a pig under a gate. It will prance and cavort. It will scamper. It will dance like a flea with colic. It will fall on its face. It will cleave the air like a Thomas cat, orchestra by night. It will sigh, groan, bust. Oh, it will sillinate comets and shooting stars. with wonderful burning kisses, yours ecstatically, the devil. Chapter the 5th. My impatient, expectant Mary, I too am growing impatient. Mary, impatient for the hour when I may claim you as my own, my bride, for a season. Oh, rapturous thought! I am the most adorable of lovers, little girl. And the hour in which you fall under the spell of my fascination, you will count all else as an empty bauble. My heart, like a drunken Bacchus, would fain forget the duties which lie nearest, and fly at once that heaven of bliss to which you have invited me. My kisses, little girl, and I have the most bewitching manner of bestowing them, are all that a woman, young and alone, could wish. There is something potentially magical in the devil's kiss, something irresistibly overwhelming in its entirety, something that disarms the hesitating soul and lays it prostrate at my feet. God himself gave me this power, and God has not removed his creatures beyond temptation. I am no moralist, Mary, and when I come to clasp you in my strong steel arms, to pour out to you the passionate adoration of my metal heart, and to bewilder you with the ecstasy of the devil's hot kisses, there shall be no hint of direful consequences. No, I shall love you in my own way. Love you. Love you. Yes, I shall love you in my own way. Yours adoringly, the devil. Chapter 6. My strangely pathetic child, you, little Mary Maclane, from the depths of your loneliness and gloom, have pictured the personality of the devil. Your youth and uncurbed fancy have made him more of a god than the wily, crafty, world-defying devil that he is. You have given him attributes that ill become the sovereign of hell, and have laid bare a soul the inner workings of which he would himself do well to imitate. Come, little girl, please pass before the throne of my judgment. At first I see you, a trembling, untaught child, groping about in the wilderness of untamed nature, peering into the caverns that yawn at your feet, gazing over the precipice that leaps before your way, and straining your ears to catch the ripple of a fountain that plays in the idle sport upon the peaceful plot below. I watch you, as with one little sunburned hand you clutch the barren crags for support, while with the other grasping the moss and lichens that cling among the rocks, you strive to pluck the flowers that grow beyond your reach. Now you are startled by the raven's croak, and lift your wondering eyes to the bird that flies languidly across your skies. Then your vision is caught by the mesmeric charm of the serpent, as it winds its slender, iridescent body in serpentine grace before you. And, enchanted, you wonder at its beauty, and would seize it, if you could. When I contemplate you thus, my heart is filled with pity. Again, you rise before me as a wild, unruly element that chafes at the restraint which nature has placed around you. You challenge the wind as it sweeps past you, and would stay the mad cataract as it leaps in the wild delight. In roguish pleasure, you would rob the robin of her little blue eggs, and would torture the toad as it hops across your path. You would strip the flowers of their delicate petals, and would mock and whippoorwill as it sings at dusk. When I see you thus, and in wilful petulance knocking at the gate of unknown, I am seized with desire to chastise you, and to chastise you heroically. Again, I see that at early morning, waking as it were from a dream, you rise in all the beauty of youth, refreshed by sleep, and gaze with rapture at the dawn as it blushes above the horizon. You contemplate the wonderful world around you and look in admiration at nature, sparkling with the dews of heaven. Your wandering soul peers outward, and all its harmony and peace inward, and all is mystery and doubt. You lie down, stretch your limbs upon the ground, drink in the exquisite parfum from the garden of the universe, and revel in the intoxication of nature's dawn. You close your eyes and give yourself up entirely to this rare, uncertain, unconscious bewilderment. When I see you thus, I am constrained to force myself upon your dreams. Again, you are roused from your idle slumber by a flood of hot, yellow sunlight. This dawn has passed, and you awake to realize that the bright, warm glow of womanhood has stirred you into life and energy. You long to encompass the world and bend it to your fiery fancy. You call humanity from its lethargy and proclaim the fact that you have awakened. You are filled with a furious desire to measure the flood of your emotions with the length and breadth of creation. The infinity of time and space is pitiful, small in comparison with the magnitude of your soul. You pant. You rave, you exult in the heat of your passion, you beat against your barriers as a small bird might flutter against the wires of its cage. You leap, you plunge with the paroxysms of a restrained vitality, then lapse into an infinite dream of happiness. When I see you thus, I love you, and would take you to my breast and unfold to you the mysteries of life. Your soul cries out in passion of prayer. Why does the red never fail to come to the breast of the robin? Why does the sand and barrenness lie stretched out before me? Why does the moon stand in the sky night after night? Why do the mountains and valleys live on, the years pass, and the marsh and the mint and the white hawthorn freeze over in the fall? You would know the all why of things, Mary. It is a pity that you should have been fretting your young life out over these seemingly unsolvable problems, when the devil could so easily have answered them for you. The red comes to the breast of the robin because it would not be becoming on his tail, and sand and barrenness lie stretched out before you because they cannot get up and walk. The moon stands in the sky night after night because it has nowhere else to stand. The mountains and valleys live on as the years pass because they cannot die. The marsh and the mint and the white hawthorn freeze over in the fall because the weather is cold. Again, I see you. After the first flood of fiery youth has spent itself, and the pulse of your temperament has assumed its nominal condition, you no longer rush madly into the vortex of youth's whirlpool, but steer your course into the deep channel whose current is ever in one direction. You no longer yield without question to the intensity of your emotions, nor follow the rainbow of hallucination, but analyze your passions and propensities, adjust them to the world, and prepare to take your place in the ranks of those who have a turbulent nature to control. When I see you thus, I am seized with a desire to tempt you, aye, to persecute you until you yield yourself to me without reserve. When I see you, young and all alone, walking in the path of conventionality, looking upon the world demurely and complacently from behind your armor of maidenhood, I approve of you, and laugh at the world's credulity. When I see you stalk forth with self-imposed consciousness of your egotism, I am amused. When you stretch out your hand to the world in mute supplication for love and receive only reprimand, I rebuke you for your weakness. When you curse the world and all its ties and scoff at the thought of purity and truth, I am infinitely pleased with you. When you measure your genius with that of not only the world but the devil also, I am seized with a desire to ridicule you. When you expose, despite the prostrations of decency, the hot, seething passion that nature has bequeathed to you, I applaud you. When you hesitate and for a moment question the possibility of truth and long to believe the story of God's love and atonement, I despise you. When you hesitate for a moment, oh, I already said it, but when you surrender yourself fully and freely to the devil and ask of him only that he love you and bring you to the rare, exquisite, intoxicating elixir of that love, I love you. I love you most and glorify you in the devil's way. While you are a creature of many moods, I am a creature of more. I shall deal with your various moods in my own way, and before I have finished, little girl, you may know me better than you know me today. Yours, introspectively, the devil. Chapter 7. Dear little Maclane, you say that there are several things in this life for which you, of womankind and 19 years, have conceived a forcible repugnance. There are many things in the world for which I, the kind devil, have conceived a more forcible repugnance. First of all, from homely women, good God deliver me, from earthly to betters, from early to betters and early to risers, from boy choirs and hymn tunes, from high collars, from nicknames. Ugh, good God deliver me. From hen-pecked husbands, from trick babies, from female politicians, from boarders who give themselves airs, from appendicitis. Good God, deliver me. From missionaries with tall hats who lecture on the Holy Land. From the chorus diners, from the people who sweat. From slop pails, from a kid with a hose. From the followers clutched in the hands of corpses. From the flowers clutched in the hands of corpses. Good God, deliver me. From homes where grace is said, from bad teeth, from bad breath, from the man who spits, from doting mothers with unspeakable children, who make long visits to relations. Good God, deliver me. From little-faced women with huge pompadours, from church bells, from frayed and knotted shoelaces, from ping-pong, from newly married couples. Good God, deliver me. From people with pedigrees, present company always excepted, Mary. From bow-legged men, from the Salvation Army bonnets, from bare feet, especially if they be gnarled with corns and bunions, from a bigotry black person. I don't like that one. From bigotry, we'll just leave it there. From bigotry, good God, deliver me. From shoes that squeak as one walks, from undertakers, from bedbugs, from women who are never together in the back, from from women who are never together in the back, from spectacled kids, from boiled cabbage. Blech! Good God, deliver me. from designing mothers with marriageable daughters, from people who do not use toothbrushes, from religious young men, from bargain sales. Good God, deliver me. From the woman who travels with a section of hand baggage, from association with the aged, from large hats at an opera house, from chewing gum girls, from fat men in checkerboard trousers, from fee waiters. Good God, deliver me. From a true story novel, it's like a it's like a preserve with a pill in it. From peroxide blondes, from the man with schemes, from family prayers, from telephones, from poor relations. Good God, deliver me. From celebrities in wax, from monocles, from women whose pugs and sailor hats do not make a connection, from people who say, I seen, I done, had went, and hadn't ought to. Good God, deliver me. From protracted meetings, from artificial flowers in the hair, from toy drums, from kid curlers, from widows, by God, who are just emerging from the second morning, and widows by grass under all circumstances. Good God, deliver me. From lisping young men with prodigious bouquets in their buttonholes, from pimply complexions, from cold baths, from the refractory lock on the woman's neck, which refuses to affiliate with the rest of her back and hair, from geniuses. Good God, deliver me. From folding beds, from philanthropists, from fine-tooth combs, from unsophisticated young girls who play the piano, from people who eat onions, from honest preachers, from nursing bottles. Good God, deliver me. From zealous females who sell tickets to church fairs, and from bangle bracelets, from quill toothpicks, from bland old gentlemen who marry and bury wives periodically. Good God, deliver me. From young men who waltz irrespective of their partners, from shoes with tacks in them, from tight-laced women, from mouths that droop at the corners, from Mrs. Snobs who does not speak to Mrs. So-and-so, from cold suppers, from stockings with holes in them, from sour pickles, they give me lockjaw. Good God, deliver me. From the is this hot enough for you, fiend? I'll get it back to him on the same. I'll get it back on him someday. From round shoulders, from wallflowers, from burial robes, from the old maid with views. Good God, deliver me. From men who wear their neckties under their left ears, from backdoor neighbors, from sour-faced schoolmarms, from anemone ladies, from fleeing Josephs who leave their vestments in the hands of a Potiphar's wife. There are such, Mary. Good God, deliver me. From that rare confection, the debutante, from the straight-back chairs, from soiled linen, from old women in delicate gowns, from sewing societies, from would-be authors, from people who work, their friends, from a woman with a dust cap and a broom, from fools. Good God, deliver me. From prudish old maids at the seashore, from soiled kid gloves and gloves out the fingers, from a woman who eschews and dress shields, from Sunday school books, from the sight of old Jack Martin on horseback. Good God, deliver me. From the rear view of a woman who wears rundown shoes and the kangaroo hump. Oh, ugh. From the rear view of a woman who wears rundown shoes and the kangaroo hump. Oh, God, deliver me. Mary, oh, Mary, don't ever wear that combination and turn your back to the devil. Oh, P.S. Many of the above agencies I am compelled to employ in my business, but no one abominates them more than I, the devil. Chapter 8. Poor, lonely Mary Maclane, the barrenness of your childhood. You cry out against it, and no wonder. Ah, yes, the barrenness of childhood, in some instances, is a calamity which even I blush to admit. The omnipotent Creator has left his work unguarded, and it is an easy matter for the devil to breathe upon the future even of an unborn child, and wither into desolation all the influences which might, at least, add beauty and variety to its condition. The poor little unfortunates are born into my sphere. They are mine by inheritance, and I probably neglect to make their condition as rosette with colour and amusement as I have made the paths of those of mature years. The joys of my kingdom are not for children, and I often regret that I cannot supply from my abundance the aching void of a lonely childhood. The little lives that struggle into this world through pain and hardship, lives which have fallen in stony places and sucked their bare sustenance from the overflow of a more favored spot, lives that cast little tendrils out but find nothing on which to fasten them, lives that are strangers to the beauty and tenderness of love, because they are rooted on the bleak hillside where the benign breezes of sympathy and affection do not pass. Lives that are twisted and dwarfed by the chilling blasts to which they are exposed. Lives whose early dews and fragrances have been swept away in the very immensity of their surroundings. Little lives like these are such that even I do not rejoice in. My work is not among these, although I often hear their pitiful plea for love, and see their little hearts dwarfed and twisted for lack of that which is their birthright, and for which the world is languishing. I have looked into their little pinched faces, and read the stony glare of a hungry soul, and found the telltale traces of early disappointments. I could weep, yes, I, the devil, at conditions which force them into the ranks of my followers before their little minds can grasp the magnitude of my service. Even I contend that a child has a right to be happy, and those who deny children this privilege defraud the devil of much of his glory. Poor little Mary Maclane, you were a seed that fell in a stony place, where there were there no sweet haunts in nature, in whose solitude you might have buried your loneliness? No childhood sports that might have lured you to forget your desolation? Was there for you no beauty in the flowers of the field, the blue sky, and the stars of midnight heavens? Did your childish imaginations never picture the spirit hand that painted the rosy dawn, silvered the evening moon, and curved the ribbons of the rainbow? Heard you no music in the twitter of the birds, in the sobbing of the pines, and in the whisper of the seashell? Found you no friends in the laughing waters of the brook, nor kind companions in the quaint tones of that echo? Were you never filled with awe at the magnificence of the lightning and the solemn grandeur of thunder? Did you never people the clouds with fairies and imagine yourself a queen of their wonderful realm? Did the butterflies with their spangled wings never come to you, as to other children, like visitants from an unknown world of mystery and light? Did nature offer you no companion save weeds and lizards and snakes? Nature's rare harmonies, to which your childish sense seems to have been utterly dead, are the works of the Omnipotent, which I have never been able to mar. The infinite beauty which they pour into the lives of the children is often the most lasting influence which I have to encounter in later years. Did you pass through the ways of childhood impervious to such influences? Then, poor little Mary Maclane, you are an easy prey of the devil. Yours sympathetically, the devil. Chapter 9. Oh, Mary, how could you write a portrayal in a stiff-backed chair? I could not even eat hot fudge or hold my best girl on my knee in one. If I call on a woman and she seats me in a stiff-backed chair, I don't stop long. Yours luxuriously, the devil. Chapter the 10th. My rampant, parapactic Mary. And is it happiness that you seek, little Maclane? Happiness? A strange thing to ask at my hands. It is not the lost happiness of childhood that you seek, or you would never have come to me, but the rich, luscious portion that the devil offers to buoyant youth. What though the red and gold of the sunset change to leaden grey? What though the bronze and copper beams on the three white rocks fade into deep shadows? What though the happiness I bring you be only for 3 days, 1 day, an hour? It is supreme while it lasts. While it lasts. You have said that for 1 single hour, happiness you would give up. Fame and money and power and virtue and honor and righteousness and truth and logic and philosophy and genius. I can give you, in exchange of your life that has almost crushed you with its very nothingness. I can fill it to the full limit of your limitless soul. I robbed paradise of its bliss, and it is with this that I can steep your senses in mad intoxication. Yes, I can pour into your soul that for which it longs, and sway your spirit with that wild delirium for which men have ever bartered their souls. Under the red, red light of the devil's love, the mysteries of life that have been hidden in the bleak, barren waste of nothingness shall unfold at the touch of new inspiration. Those tender blushing petals shall expand to meet the measure of their counterpart, and shall shed their fragrance around the couch of your awakening. This bleak sordidness of your life I can illumine with the brilliancy of a revelation. Come, little Mary Maclane, and sit down at my feast. Come, in the buoyancy of health, life, and spirit, bring no regrets. Stifle the voice which might protest against the bartering of your soul for happiness. Bury the little germ of womanhood which might have lodged in the breast of even you. Let there be no whisper from the past that might awaken in your heart a sigh for other days, no echo from the lamentation of a soul sold into bondage. Let there be no skeleton at the devil's feast. Come, I am waiting to lead you to the feast of happiness, where none may deny my right to unfold to you the weird seductions of my kingdom, where the red, red light is but an enchanting glow from the never-dying flames of hell. Many before you have been lured to my feast by this wonderful rosette glamour. Come, drink deep at the fountain of youthful intoxication. Come in the fullness of your young woman's body. Come with your wooden heart on fire. Come with your red, red blood flowing swiftly and joyously. Come with your sound, sensitive liver resting gently with its thin yellow bile in sweet content. Come dancing to the music of your beautiful stomach, singing its song of peace. Come with your strong, sensitive nerves, reeking and swimming in sensuality like little drunken bacchanets. Come on your 2 good legs to my feast. Come, I am waiting for you in the slow deepening dusk, with a butt of olives, with all the love of my heart. I am yours rapturously. The devil. Chapter the 11th. My own Mary, the hour is long past midnight. The morning star that was watched through the night is sinking toward the western horizon, while its myriad companions are fading into the limitless light of dawn. My labors through the night have been as varied as they have been unceasing. I have visited the halls of revelry and song, and have sat down at the banquet feast of princes. I have thrown a deeper cloud of disappointment around the hovels of the poor. I have visited anew the sick and suffering, and have poured a little more discontent into the hearts of the blind and crippled. I have dazzled the unwary with temptation, and have drawn others more securely into my coils. I have visited the grog shops in the dives of sin, and have caused God's creatures to blaspheme his holy name. At the magic hour of midnight, when revelry was at its height, I entered the brilliant halls of the masquerade and danced with the queen of the ball. The impersonation of night, she was swathed in filmy black, with the crescent moon on her brow. Her eyes from behind her mask gleamed like midnight stars, and her snow-white breasts were springing like fountains neath her veil. I folded her into my heart, and her form seemed melted into mine. As we floated away on the wings of a dreamful waltz, her star-bespangled draperies enveloping us like a cloud. Oh, it was something to be the devil after all. To be the king for a season, with all the rank and the file of humanity only waiting for an opportunity to serve me. Poor fools that they are. They do not know with what little compunction I dazzle them, and then cheat them of their own inheritance. What does it matter? This is the devil's reign, and I propose to reign right royally. I can lead my army of weak, cowardly, self-debased, devil-despised vagabonds into the very shadows of hell, and they do not desert me. They may waver for a while, but they eventually fall in with the mass and follow up a course which they know has but the ultimatum. Occasionally there are deserters, those who turn back into the straight and narrow way. To be honest with myself, the devil must be that. He may lie to the world, but he must be honest with himself. The numerous desertions are becoming alarming. It does not argue well for my vigilance. It foreshadows the time when the Prince of Peace shall reign in my stead. I must visit the great tabernacles, which stand like conscious and ever watchful sentinels. I must shadow those who enter and those who leave. I must encompass them with a network of my subtlety. Could I but ensnare the shepherds of those flocks, that the sheep might then wander away, and though I might not be able to recover the entire fold, many in their confusion would undoubtedly drift into my ranks. So I say to myself, away, good devil. You have no time for ease and comfort. The luxurious surroundings of your throne must not tempt you into the lethargy. You, little Mary Maclane, who rests securely in the fold of Satan, I must leave for a while, and my direct attention to those who might possibly escape me. I can only say to you, continue to nurse the morbidness of your nature and to rebel against your natural surroundings. Hate the mother who gave you being. Bring her gray hairs down in your sorrow to the grave, down in sorrow to the grave. Curse the memory of your father. Cast a spell of contamination over all who knew you, and honor the devil by exercising in his behalf the talent that has been lent to you. Lie, steal, vilify yourself and others, and dream of the red, red light of your happiness until I come. And when I come, I find no fault in you. Yours, in delay, the devil. Wasn't that delicious? I think that was rather delightful. I enjoyed that one quite a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, guys and gals, and non-gendered pals, I will be in Atlanta the 2nd of September, and we are looking for people who are makers. We look for artists who would like to sell at a debauchery ball. And yes, that's what it is called, is the debauchery ball in Atlanta. It's a burlesque number. It's a gathering. I need you to email me, to message me, text me, message me on Facebook, message me on Instagram. It's actually easier because I get thousands of emails a day, but that's what happens when you're the Prince of Darkness. You have a lot of people emailing you to sell the souls and check on my car's extended warranty. Also, I will be in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio, the end of October, the 26th, I believe 26th and 27th of October. So I would love to have you there. And let's see if we have anything else. I'm loving this book. What else we have here? Let's just read a few of this. I like you too. Just the same ghost as usually, and I had a rice. I'm loving the book so much. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard Lale. I cannot even begin to tell you how much I needed this tonight. I've truly horrifying day. I feel like my world has come crashing down. I'm very sorry to hear that, sweet Sierra. John Maxwell. It is a delicious book. Angela Jem, Heart. Coley Evans. John Maxwell, I thoroughly enjoy this particular Prince of Darkness. I do too. He's rather delicious, isn't he? All right, my beauties. I shall see you, if not this week. I know we have Midsummer is coming up, by the way. Those of you who watch me on Witches Movie Coven on Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be doing Midsummer I think it was 2019 when it was released. So if you would like to stay informed, go watch Midsummer. I have not seen it, so we will be doing that. With that, my beauties, I bid you a most pleasant night rest. Good night, my dears.